Morning and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 best raid farms that you can do right now. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Coming in at number 1 is the Siege of Orgrimmar. The Siege of Orgrimmar is by far one of my most favourite gold farms, predominantly for the battle pets. The battle pets in particular are like the Black Fuse Bombling and or the Droplet of AhnQiraj. The Droplet of AhnQiraj is around about 50,000 gold, and the Black Fuse Bombling averages from around about 15,000 to 20,000 gold depending on your realm. These other battle pets that you get along with this are just additional to this. Now, obviously this is a totally RNG based farm, but it's well worth your time because it only takes you around about 15 minutes at most to clear the entire raid. Especially if you're running like a 120, you're definitely going to be able to do it in about that amount of time. Now, there are a few little things that you need to make sure that you can understand when actually doing this, and that would be things like the Shah of Pride and knowing how to take him out. Along with that, with Galakras, you're not really going to have that much of a problem when taking out any of these mobs because the rest of them will just be literally tank and spanks, because it's literally just taking them out really and just running through it. So as long as you've got 120, you're not going to have that much of a problem. When it comes to Galakras, when you're actually doing this gold farm, you will have to run up the different towers, take out and do the entire little scenario that you have to do along with it, which is kind of irritating, but you can bypass some of the mechanics. When you're actually talking to the lore walkers, there is a guy in there to your right who actually will just port you directly to those specific areas in which drops the battle pets, which makes it a lot easier in order to farm. This pretty much goes for most of the raid farms, so you're really not going to have that much of a problem. Coming in at number 2 is the Molten Core, and I know what you're saying, the Molten Core, really? The Molten Core is just terrible. No, it's actually a pretty damn good gold farm, mainly because of the Blood of the Mountain and the Dark Iron Ore. Along with that, you can get things like the Sulfuron Ingot, and also you can pick up a few little bits of transmog items that are worth a decent amount. Not all of the transmog items you get from this raid is actually worth it. They're all pretty damn bad. So as long as you skip the bosses and you actually have a miner, you can make a decent amount of bank. As long as you kill all of the trash mobs and you harvest all of your dark iron ore, you can then run out and reset the instance. Once you've done your last 9, on your last one, which will be the 10th run that you do for the hour, you can then kill the boss if you so wish. If you do not and you want to keep farming it and farming it and farming it, don't kill any of the bosses, of course. And then you can just gather up a load of Bloods of the Mountain, a small amount of transmog items, and along with that have a lot of dark iron ore, which you can then sell on the auction house for a pretty penny. Other than that, let's get into number 3. Number 3 is Ulduar, and Ulduar is a great one, mainly for a variety of different reasons. I would recommend that you go in there with an engineer, as the Flame Leviathan and the XT Big Reaver actually can be engineered. So when I say that, I mean once you've killed them, those bosses, you can then use your engineering on them to get materials back, which give you a load of different types of things like Saronite bars. You can get titanium bars from it. You can also get some cobalt and or the Eternals, and a lot of different other things that you can use in order to craft or sell flat on the auction house. Along with that, pretty much all of the bosses have a battle pet which can drop from there, so it is well worth your time in order to gather up all of those bosses and completely do the instance. Now we are level 120, it's really not that hard to actually just go in there and nuke everything, especially when you're fighting against Yogg-Saron. Yogg-Saron has one little mechanic that I would recommend that you just be aware of, and if you haven't really done it, then you will have to bear in mind that you have to kill him pretty damn fast. What you'll have to do is make sure that your insanity doesn't reach 0. As soon as it hits 0, you insta-die. And pretty much all you have to do is keep you above 0 and jump into the portal, kill his brain, jump back out, kill him again, and you've pretty much done the boss fight. It's pretty dead simple once you get the hang of it and you're farming it regularly, so it's really not that hard in order for you to do. Along with that, all of the battle pets have a decent amount of gold value behind them, and not many people actually farm all the while in order to gain some battle pets. So I find that this one is a good raid in order to farm because it's so easy to traverse, besides the Flame Leviathan part where you would have to literally get into the chopper and just blast through to get to him. That's probably the most long-windedest part of the entire raid. The rest of it is literally just nuke, move, nuke, move, nuke. Pretty damn easy, if I do say so myself. For number 4, we have the Throne of Thunder. Now, the Throne of Thunder has a load of high-ticket items in there, and that being the case, they are the battle pets in which you can actually farm up. I'm guessing you're seeing a theme when it comes to the raid farming. Yes, it is the battle pets which do give you the most amount of gold. And the Throne of Thunder is by far one of the best ones in order to farm up. You get some amazing different types of battle pets from this, so such as the G-Coon Hatchling, the Quivering Blob, and you can also get the Pygmy Direhorn, and they all sell relatively for a decent amount of gold. Now obviously you can get other ones such as the Son of Animus, which is a great one in order to get a hold of, because if you get that, you've basically made a decent amount of gold just for one run, and you can do this relatively in a fast manner. Now if you go over to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms and you talk to the Lore Walkers again, you can pretty much get around all of the other bosses that don't really drop anything. So then all you have to do is just skip to the ones that you want to get to and just take them out, and then just go on your other character and do that again. This only takes you literally about 10 to 15 minutes to do as well. So you can pretty much do the Siege of Orgrimmar and the Throne of Thunder in about half an hour, which is pretty damn good. And I find this to be quite great in order to farm, because I usually use this technique quite a lot. Along with that, you do have a chance of getting some high pieces of transmog alongside that, especially types of things like the Zandalari type stuff, which do sell for a pretty penny, if I do say so myself. And selling those on the auction house sell kind of fast at this moment in time, mainly because we're in Zandalar and Kul Tiras, so things like that are selling pretty damn fast because people want to look like them, of course. But at the end of the day, this is a great farming location in order to farm up, and I find that this is by far one of my most favourite farms in order to do. Now, last and finally, I wanted to put this one at the top of the list, mainly because we tend to have forgotten about it, so that's why I've put it at number 1, but mainly not for the major amount of gold value, it's mainly because it's kind of forgotten and I wanted to cover it. And that is the Temple of AhnQiraj. The Temple of AhnQiraj has a chance of dropping 3 different types of battle pets. We have the Mini Mind Slayer, which is from the first boss, and is pretty damn easy to get a hold of, if I do say so myself, at a 10% drop chance. This means that the battle pet is relatively not worth all that much, and the other 2 are worth the most. Now, the other one is called the Anubiseth Idol, and that one comes from the Twin Emperors. The Twin Emperors have a chance of dropping the Anubiseth Idol at the same amount of drop chance as each other, at a 10% drop chance. Now, this one sells from anywhere from about 5,000 to 10,000 gold a piece, and this really does take you about 5 minutes in order to do everyone in the dungeon. Now, that being the case, the last one is Viscidus. Now, Viscidus is a tricky one if you don't know how to kill him. If you go in as you are, you're probably not going to be able to kill it, even at a 120. That's mainly because you have to actually attack him with frost damage and be able to do physical damage at the exact same time. You have to pretty much do like 30 hits of ice damage and then 30 hits of physical damage in order to kill him and shatter him at the same time. So you have to freeze him with the frost damage and then destroy him with the physical damage. The best way of getting around this is by picking up a low tier item, such as like a cutlass from one of the weapons vendors, or just a cheapy weapon from the auction house and enchanting that with the enchant of the Elemental Force. At a 10% drop chance, the Facidus Globule is pretty damn easy to get a hold of if you know this trick. Now, make sure that you have the Elemental Force attached on it, on the low tier item, and make sure you have it equipped. Other than that, all you have to do is pretty much spam all abilities until he dies. When it comes to me running it with a rogue, I just have Elemental Force on 2 of my weapons and just keep attacking him with every ability I've got until he dies. It basically takes a couple of seconds in order to kill him if you do it right. If not, he will stay at 0 health and not die. And yeah, it's kind of annoying because you have to actually leave the encounter. Otherwise, it just doesn't work because he just won't die if you don't use frost damage. So that's why you need Elemental Force. And that is why the Facidus Globule has a gold value higher than all of the others, because it is harder to get a hold of, because you have to bring in extra stuff in order to kill him. That being the case, the Facidus Globule averages anywhere on a really weird average of around about 8,000 gold upwards to around about 20,000 gold, depending on your realm. So if you're going to do this raid, double check your auction house first for all of the different types of battle pets you get along with it, and then make sure that what you want to do. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys, and I shall see you soon.